Hi, I'm Curtis Wood, author of Decoding Earth's Hidden Secrets. I want to welcome you here today. I have some interesting new discoveries, and what I've done is I've applied some basic physics that I found experimenting last year with an Earth simulator. And what I decided to do was to apply that and to see what the results would be of a plant, and to see how much a plant actually exhausts and how a plant operates and moves water. My choice was a cucumber, basically because I like eating cucumbers. And what I've done is I've applied my research into an actual plant for a working mechanism just to be able to verify and confirm what I have found to be true. This is my cucumber plant, and all I can tell you is it's very interesting. Not only is it interesting, you just really won't believe it unless you try it yourself. So I do encourage you to try it, because if you do, you'll start doing it everywhere like I'm starting to. So in the meantime, what I want to do is I want to introduce you to my plant. So far it's given me 9 cucumbers. The average cucumber plant will give you 10. Hydroponics gets you somewhere between 25 to 30. And I'm going to be trying to beat that. And all I'm using is tap water. Now the growth point is usually 4 to 5 feet. I was measuring it with this one. You can see right here where all of a sudden it took a 90-degree angle, and she just refused to go on up anymore. And what I had to do is I had to bend the rod and bring it on over and allow the thing to relax. What happened is it hit its maximum growth point. It got too hot one day, couldn't get enough water up there, so it bent. I checked into the Guinness Book of World Records on tallest cucumber, and they don't have anything on it. They got the largest and biggest cucumber, but not the tallest one. So I guess they're not supposed to really grow like this. She should be able to hit the roof if it goes to the first week in September. Now it's 16 inches off the ground, but off the soil it is currently 99 inches. As you can see here, the plant root structure goes down. It's made for capturing water up. What we do is we water it and hope for it to take a U-turn. We saturate the soil. In doing so, we also lose a lot of water to evaporation. This process here eliminates the evaporation, targets the water, and directs it directly into the plant. This is the water coil. Basically, this water coil sits in there. It's nothing more than a 1/4-inch copper tube. It has about 6 or 7 little holes in it. What that does is it evenly distributes the water in there at a slow pace. Fish tank control valve set for drip rate. This will take about 2.5 to 3 hours to fully saturate into the system. Is basically what we want to do is put cold water down here. It'll saturate to the base, so there's always going to be a little bit of water in it. Then that cold water is going to flush down. It'll descend and push the hot water out. You can then turn around and you can retrieve it out. This was an afterthought. It takes 1 gallon a day. That's when it was at 6 feet, so it's probably at 1.5 gallons or 2 gallons. This thing would be filled with 3 gallons, so it's quite a bit of water actually. I just filled it on up. It's got 1 gallon of refrigerated water. Don't need refrigerated water. You can also use water from a well. Basically what we're doing is we're hijacking water from down deep and bringing it on up. And you can see here that the plant is really loving it. 99 inches at the moment. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to measure where the water is flowing. Now science does that through putting in dyes, and they can monitor where water goes in one cave and comes out in another location. Well, but this can also be done with temperature. So what we're going to do is we're going to inject cold water into this thing, because it's in the heat of the day, and we're going to see what happens. And that's going to tell us a lot. Come on, let's take a look. We're currently running, I don't know if you can see that, but it's 94. Filling it up, came out of the fridge, 42 degrees. Okay, now we're going to take a look. Okay, now that's down in the soil there, 95, 96, pretty hot. The leaf there, 89. Up here, 84, 85, 87, 88, 89. We're going to see what happens in an hour now. Yeah, they've gone up to 98. Out here in the sun, so she's been heating up. But what was registering the high 80s is all now registering in the lower 80s. A few degrees temperature differentiation. Ooh, we're down to 79 on that guy. A lot of people have asked me, how tall do you think it's going to get? Now, as a researcher, I can tell you this much. I haven't got the slightest idea. But I do know that in Minnesota, this is a poor climate for growing a cucumber. And if I can do this here, I can only imagine what I can do down south. Now, some of the things to think about is that I use refrigerated water, and then when the temperature gets too cold, I actually use ice, and that was able to compensate so I can get 3 inches of growth even when the temperature drops down to 50 degrees at night now. Now, if you got a well, the well is 50 degrees, that's going to be more than enough. But if you have a refrigerator, it helps amplify it, and if the temperatures get too cold, a freezer can help. So these are a couple things that I have found so far. Now, if the heat is too much, just remember, if that top gets too hot, the growth is going to stop. So you may end up having to have some like camouflage netting or something that's not going to make it so it's going to be in the direct sun. But just something to just kind of help block that, especially near the top, because that's what's getting hot on here. You got to get to know each and every plant. Now, a lot of people say, Kurt, this is just a cucumber. No, it's not just a cucumber, it's a plant, and it works. Now, the reason why plants are so important is because they move the water. They vent it. They're radiators, and when we chop too many of them down, the planet overheats. Now, this is the way that I created it. That does not mean it's the only way it could be created. You could do this with tires. You could do this with a PVC pipe and tires. What's important is you trickle the cold water beneath the roots and give it a cavity for the water to lay in. So you always have water there. You can do the recovery as well, so that basically you have absolutely no waste. It averages 3 inches as long as the temperature beneath the soil remains 20 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 10 degrees centigrade, cooler than the surface. And it'll work. And as you can see, it does. Now, with that, we also know that it's targeted injection. So now I am going to explain to you why I have my web page. What if you were to take garlic root and soak it in the water and then inject that into this plant and absorb the garlic taste in the cucumber? Or how about another one where you could take mint leaves and apply it to the water and send it into a grape? What I'm saying here is the potential and the possibilities are endless. And that is why I'm coming to you, because those endless possibilities can be done if enough people get together and share the knowledge, and that is what my website is for us to share the knowledge so I can compile the data so others can follow our successes and failures, and hopefully they can override our failures that we can come across along the way. What we need to understand is that as a species, we need to control our reproduction rate, and we can do that and we can recover, but only if we follow the mode of one woman, one child for the decades to come. Nobody needs to decide which child to feed, and nobody should put themselves into that predicament. And this is going to be very important for everyone in the times to come, to understand how to feed yourselves, even under the worst conditions. But the most important thing is feed your children and teach them. Teach them that this is a world we must live with and not conquer. Thanks for watching.